everybody, welcome to Porter Valley Ranch. We have another Potager Garden episode, and today's goal is to turn everything over to a fall garden. So you're going to kind of see the leftovers of the summer garden, some of the things that have already been ripped out, but I've got to get out a lot of other things, get them into the compost pile, work up the soil. I brought some compost from last year. I've got to put that in. I've got to put more raised bed dirt in. I've got to put some of the brassicas in. There's a lot to do today, but I'm hoping to share some of the lessons I've learned with the summer garden and then show you how everything's getting ready for fall and what our goals are there. This is the first week of September, and it's a great time to start getting the fall crops in. For us personally, it's a crazy time. Our business at the dance studio and the gym starts after Labor Day for the fall season and runs through May. So right now we're kind of hashing out some of the scheduling issues, last minute enrollments, all those kinds of things. So we're trying to balance all of that, but I also know how important it is to think ahead, and if I want to have these crops, I've got to do it now. So we're trying to carve out some time today to get that going. I'm hoping to get this all done. Oh, my goal is an hour. So if it doesn't work out all today, I'll get back to it early tomorrow morning, but we'll see how far we can get. I'm going to start in this raised bed. This is one that's been doing our midnight cherry snack tomatoes, and they've done awesome. That's something I will definitely do next year. It was one of the first things to produce, and it's actually been one of the things that's produced the longest. This zinnia plant has been ready to come out for quite some time, but we have this beautiful spider here, and we have an agreement. He'll take out all the ugly pests, and I'll leave him alone and the zinnia. So that's still going on. I've got to rip out some of these old tomato plants. There's a few still producing, but you can tell there's no more flowers, so no more buds, no more fruit's gonna happen. So I've got to rip those out. And lastly, I have some loofah gourds over here, and I actually planted both sets of loofah gourds at the same time. This one took off early season, and those are late season. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish pulling this one out and clear room, and I want to put all the broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower in here. The other thing is, my garden coach Robin warned me that the soil would blow my mind as far as how compact and settling it will do in the first year in this raised bed, and it really has. So I'm trying to get what's left here, and then I'm going to add a layer of compost and then another layer of raised bed soil just to keep promoting healthy growth. This was one thing we brought in, garden soil from a dirt company, and that seemed to be a really good idea for us, assuming it was going to be really high in nitrogen and things it should be, and that it's been in compost. However, it brought in a bunch of weed seeds, things we don't even have here. So I'm not sure that was the best choice. Right now for the fall, as I'm amending this, I'm going to stick to the bagged kind that I bought at Atwood's. In the future, if there's a ton that needs to be done, I'm just going to keep trying to work my mulch and my compost and try to add my own fertilizer here, because whenever you start bringing in soil and you're not sure what's in it, there can be lots of crazy weed seeds, and that's a lesson we learned the hard way. Part of gardening is hoping for the best but preparing for the worst, and I had an issue with tomato hornworms this summer, so I've been using some BT spray on that, and these are the same beds. So what I'm wanting to do now is prepare for cutworms. So I've done a lot of research on what to do, and one of my favorite gardening podcasts mentioned cutting toilet paper rolls in half and wrapping 1 inch into the soil and the top because usually that's enough to deter them from wanting to get into that vine. So I'm going to proactively just put these on each of the broccolis that I plant, and then once I get them all in, I am going to go ahead and spray 1 round of BT just for good measure, just for caution, because I don't want to wait too long and be too reactive. So I'm going to put these all in and hope for the best. My north raised bed full of broccoli and some cabbage. I've got to find some space for some more broccoli and some cauliflower, so I'm going to clean these out. I really want to keep them up in the raised beds because we had a problem with rabbits that we already took care of once at the beginning of the season, and now I've noticed that they're back. I wanted to use that far north bed and that was in ground and just kind of experiment and see which one is more successful, but I just noticed that I've got some sweet potato planted over there and I'm missing a bunch of leaves that definitely look like some rabbit stealing. So I decided I'm going to keep it in the raised bed, so I'm going to clean this out. I still need to get some more compost and dirt for this one, so that'll be a tomorrow project. While I'm at it, I'm going to remove these cosmos. They are actually pretty. I mean, the flowers, the buds are really pretty. I've actually seen some hummingbirds and butterflies on them, so that all I love. However, it's like this side, the stems grew too high to keep up with, so they just lay over. And it's getting in the way. It kind of makes it look like a mess, but they've fallen over some pepper plants, and so I know that those aren't as productive as they should be right now because of other plants laying on top of them. So as pretty as they are, I'm going to go ahead and remove them, and I'll try to save some of the seed but put the stalks in the compost pile. And then I might even clear out some room to do some more fall plants in there to go along with the peppers. So here we go. Okay, I feel much better about this bed. It's clean, it's pretty weed free, but you can definitely tell that the rabbit has been over here. The little leaves are all off. I do have a couple good peppers I can pick today. I'll take those with me. Hopefully everything uses the last couple weeks of this really hot weather. We're still in the 100s in Oklahoma. Hopefully they'll sprout a few more fruit before it's all said and done. But I think those cosmos stole the sunshine from them for too long. And then I also think that something is robbing my garden. The other thing, I went ahead and started clearing out my sunflower leaves because they're drying off, and the stalks are something that the sheep do enjoy. And so I'd like to get to those before they're completely dried up. Some of them were just too old. I went ahead and put them in the compost pile, but there were some that still had some good leaves on them, and they're really enjoying it now. Also, I planted these last year from a packet, and then I saved seeds, and I plan to do the same thing. They are mammoth sunflowers, and they truly live up to their name. It's almost like they grow so tall and they take so long to bloom that the second they bloom, they just droop over. It's like just too heavy. And so one of those life lessons of heavy is the head that wears the crown, okay? As soon as this opens up, it just droops. It just can't even stand. You got maybe a week of good sunflowers up, and then they just hang over. So anyway, these are truly beautiful even when they're dried up and dead. I'm gonna leave them out here in the sun until all these green leaves dry out, and then I'll know that these seeds are ready. But you can almost kind of already see these seeds are both white and black. And last year, I haven't researched the difference, but I wasn't sure if they were all supposed to eventually turn black, and they weren't. So I planted both colors this year, and obviously the white ones grew back and the black ones grew back. So these are, as simple as it sounds, the same as the sunflowers you get in the little packages at the grocery store. So you can just pick it out, save them. Same thing here, I've got the black ones. On this mammoth one, it's a little more dried up than that one is. And then just save those for next year in a brown bag. So love these, plan to do those every year in my garden. And if you want some seeds, I would love to mail them to you. So just go ahead and reply or send us a message with your address and you can get some of these mammoth sunflower seeds.